Hello everyone and welcome back to YK Reviews. This video is going to be about the Miss Marvel show as a whole from episode 1 to 6. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the show, hit Disney Plus, check out the show, and please let me know in the comments what you thought about the show as well, what you thought about the episodes and the show in whole. This is my take on it, so if you haven't seen it, you have been warned. So let's get into it. So overall, I feel like the show itself was pretty decent. Like, it didn't blow me away, but it was a pretty decent show. When I saw the trailer, I thought this was definitely like kid vibes and like one of those like Cartoon Network Disney kind of shows. It had that vibe to it, but it definitely surprised me with like the direction that they went with. Episode 1 definitely feel like was a really strong start to the show, and I feel like they did like improve throughout the show itself. However, I feel like when it comes to like these Marvel Disney Plus shows, a lot of issue is the pacing of the show. This Miss Marvel was 6 episodes, and I don't feel like 6 episodes was enough. It needs to be longer, or it needs to have multiple seasons, because 6 episodes, you don't get enough storytelling, and especially with Disney Plus shows, there may be like sometimes they're 35 minutes to 40 minutes to 45 minutes. So the episodes itself aren't long enough, and I noticed a bit of a trend when it comes to like these Disney Plus shows is when it comes to like the second last episode, it's always like a story filler episode where they throw out so much background to like the situation, so much backstory to like either the main character or like the power or whatever it is. So it's always like a history lesson, let's say, for that. And then episode 5 is that, and then episode 6 or the finale is always like a rushed finale. Everything is just so jam-packed, so these like short seasons just doesn't feel like it's enough to like explore everything, find out more about it. But however, I feel like when it comes to Miss Marvel, the pacing is slightly better than the previous like Disney Plus shows. The first couple of episodes, how she got her power, how like she is like learning to like use her power and stuff, it was really well done. I enjoyed that. I'm like getting to know that. But then when they go off like to the side quest, like for example when the whole like subplot of her going to like Pakistan and like finding like the red dagger and going through like all of that stuff, and then the like I said, episode 5 going back in time to like find out like where the bangle like that she has on her arm, where that came from, and like how like her family history and all that kind of stuff just kind of like derailed what they were setting up in the first couple of episodes. And I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed the part about the partition. Like when they were like explaining the partition, I'm all for that. I'm all for like learning more about like histories of like different countries and stuff. And like it really like surprised me to know about like how India and Pakistan split, and it really like piqued my interest about that, because I like to learn about like these new kind of things. So I liked that part of the show. But I feel like when it's talking about like the history of her family and her backstory and all that kind of stuff, that kind of is what I feel like it should have been like longer season, or season 2, because that could be season 2, or that could be like another like couple more episodes where they explore that. But what they were setting up in the first couple of episodes with her power and all of that, it just kind of like split the show in two, where it's like, okay, so on one side it's about her power and like what they're setting up in Jersey and all of that, and then another part of the show is about like her family history, and it's got nothing to do with like the first couple of episodes and that kind of stuff, which I feel like let it down a little bit there. I enjoyed Kamala's story arc in the show. I enjoyed like because like her personality and how she's such a big fan of the Avengers, how going to Avengers Con and all that stuff, and then getting her power, and like how she would like learn to use her powers, especially with like when she was saving that kid from the from falling off of the mosque. And I liked that scene. I liked like the build up of how she's like able to like improve when she's using her powers. When you compare like the first time she's using her powers to like the finale and how she's able to use that power. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed her learning about like where her powers come from and everything to do with that. That was really well done, and that was the storyline was done right, I feel like, for that. But then the problem is, and it's a problem with like a couple of like the Marvel shows too, is that they don't know who the main villain is, because you kind of start off with like hinting towards damage control. Like in the post-credit scene of the first episode, it's got damage control doing it, but then in the middle of the show you go towards the clandestines, and even with that they like reveal their true intention when they attack the wedding. And then episode 4 they're like in Pakistan, and they're fighting with the Red Dagger and Miss Marvel, and it kind of just like the build up to the clandestines wasn't as strong as it could have been. Like I feel like they should have built that up more, started from the beginning of the show to build up the clandestines. But in the end, like the main leader of the clandestines, I believe Najma is her name, like all of that, it shows that she's the one that actually killed Kamala's great grandmother to try and get the bangle. And then so she's going through all of that in the history, and then to only come to present day, and she's trying to open up the portal, but then Kamala's saying that you have your son here, and she kind of gives up everything and kind of dies. So you kind of like build up these villains for like two and a half episodes to only then like kill them off and then go back to like the damage control villains for the finale, which I feel like this finale is best paced compared to every other Marvel Disney Plus show that they've done. This isn't feel as rushed, but I feel like the villains weren't as strong. The fight scenes were pretty great. Like I liked when Kamran gaining his power, and like the fight scenes inside the high school when it comes to like Kamala and Kamran and the soldiers, like those battles and them using the powers, I really liked. What I didn't enjoy too much was the whole like they sneak inside the this high school, and then randomly everybody's starting to show up. You've got the girl that Kamala saved in the first episode showing up randomly because she's trying to get better lighting in the school. You've got her brother sneaking in, magically being able to like sneak around and get into the school, and then you've got Kamala and Bruno and her best friend and everything. So, and then the whole like plan with like the throwing the balls at the soldiers and like playing the music, and that I just feel like it wasn't as strong as it could have been. Like I wish they could have done more with like these characters, like with Bruno and like her brother. Like I feel like they could have done more than just throw balls or play music towards the soldiers. But I definitely enjoyed the fight scene, and I enjoyed like especially when they're outside, you have like this damage control starting to like shoot Kamala with like real live rounds and in front of the community, and Kamran getting out of control and having to like save Kamran, having to like save the city. Kamala did really well when it comes to that, but it felt like towards the end when she let Kamran go, it kind of like was a typical they'll never forgive me for what I've done, and then just escape and like leave. And like I wish the final battle, like the finale with the villains, could have been dealt better, and with like I enjoyed like the community like stopping damage control. But I felt like beginning of the finale when like she was revealing how she was Miss Marvel to her family, and it was kind of like quick, like her mum just told everybody. But I wish they like dealt more, because I enjoyed the dynamic with Kamala and her parents and her family, because you can tell that her parents do love her and do care for her and do look after her, which I really enjoyed like the bond and the closeness between them. And I wish that they explored that more when like they find out that their daughter's a superhero, because you find out your daughter's a superhero and like it's one that's saving kids from falling off masks and doing all these stuff, you'd be worried, you'd also be excited, and like I feel like this scene was just very quick, and I just wish that was explored more, and like the community like finding out about her and like having that relationship with the community more, like because as a local superhero, you like, I wish there was like a little bit more scenes with her like saving just like these small problems in the community, so that like she's more engaged with the community, because like they're showing her as like a really really good person, even when she's using her little lights to like walk across the air and stuff. She even stopping at a red light even though she's in the middle of the air, like you can see like the kind of person she is. So I wish that was fleshed out a bit more, but I do love how like the community is like surrounding her to make sure that damage control can't do anything, and I just wish like they had the whole build up throughout the whole season, throughout the 6 episodes, as like one particular villain instead of like spreading out who different villains are. And then I also enjoyed like once all of that was done and the dust was cleared, and everybody like spreading the word through like TikTok and Instagram and all of that stuff. I really like enjoyed all of it. I like enjoyed like the imam in the mosque doing the whole hot dog, I hope it's halal hot dog filter, actually got a good chuckle out of me. Yeah, like I enjoyed like that little like scene there. But what really stands out for me in this finale, other than like another scene like that came later on in the episode, which I'll discuss in a moment, but like the father and daughter moment, like when they're on the rooftop and trying to figure out the name is, and her dad telling her that her name in Urdu and in Arabic means Marvel, so she's actually Miss Marvel. I really enjoyed that. I liked like that bond and that moment that they shared. That really was like a great scene, I feel like. And that's what I'm saying, is like I enjoyed like the parents and the daughter scene, like Kamala and her parents. They really do stand out as like a great family, a great bond that they share together. And when him calling her Miss Marvel the first time in the whole show, I felt like that was like such a strong moment and a really nice bond. But then in the not the first post-credit scene, but like the ending of the episode, like after a week and stuff, the little like hint towards shawarma I enjoyed, which is like I believe it's a shout out to the post-credit scene of the first Avengers movie. But then when Bruno indicated that Kamala is actually a mutant, I got goosebumps hearing the X-Men animated series show. Like the music is nostalgia for me, because I grew up watching that. I would always like get up and like watch that animated show as a kid, so just hearing that music always gives me goosebumps, always gives me nostalgia. But it looks like from what they're doing is that, and I know like a lot of people like will have like issues, since like she's actually an Inhuman in the comics and not a mutant, but like for her to be introduced as like the first mutant of the MCU, it gives me like excitement that like they're slowly starting to bring all the mutants. Like I'm not sure how they'll like start bringing them all in together, but it looks like she's got like the mutant gene, and now that we're going to start seeing mutants, it does get me excited for that. So I really enjoyed that little like scene. And then when it comes to like the post-credit scene, so you have Kamala, because she also like, I really liked her costume, like the actual costume that she has now. I really like that costume, it really looks good. And so when she's like in her room and like she's looking at the bangle, and then the bangle does some weird thing, she falls into the closet, and then out comes Captain Marvel, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. So it looks like what they're setting up, because she's going to be in Marvel, like Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel all in one movie. So I expected Captain Marvel to appear in the show, appear maybe as a post-credit scene, since Miss Marvel is based on Captain Marvel. So I was expecting her to show up. It was a nice post-credit scene, does set up the movie, which is going to come out in November of next year. But I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the first Captain Marvel movie, so I'm not eagerly excited for this movie, like the sequel to it, with maybe once we see a trailer, once we see everything, like, because now I am curious, because like you have Kamala like probably stranded in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of space, not knowing what's going on, surrounded by like these alien races. So I'm curious now to see how that's going to play out and what's going to happen. But maybe like once we get closer to the time, build up, will be more excited. But it was good to see. It was nice to see Captain Marvel appearing and showing up in the show as well. But I feel like overall it is one of the better shows that the Marvel Disney Plus has done so far. Except the problem is, and the biggest problem with Disney Plus Marvel shows, is that it's too short. The episodes aren't long enough, and there needs to be more. Like 6 episodes is just not enough, especially for like a Marvel based show. So I definitely feel like they need to have like longer episodes, or have more episodes, like even 10 episodes, 8 to 10 episodes instead of just 6, so that you can flesh out more storylines and have, like, if you're gonna branch out into like something else, have a couple episodes of like exploring that, rather than having the second last episode to explore that, or having like one villain in a few episodes and a different villain in a couple of episodes. So you actually have time to flesh out story arcs, flesh out the characters. So I'm just hoping that they start like changing up the formula for these Disney Plus shows. But I feel like overall with Miss Marvel, it surprised me, because seeing the trailer, I wasn't excited to see the show. I wasn't excited to like every week watching the episodes, but it did genuinely surprise me. It was a pretty good show, decent show. So I would definitely recommend like checking it out. Like if you have your doubts and you're still like iffy about it, check out the first episode, see how you feel, because I feel like the first episode is a strong start, and it's definitely a good start to the show too. So definitely check it out. But that is like my review on the show, is my thoughts about it. If you have seen it, please let me know in the comments what you thought about it, what you didn't like, what you did like, what your theories as well for like the future of Miss Marvel, future of the Captain Marvel movie, future of the MCU as well, and like do you think they'll like change up the formula? What are your thoughts so far on actually the Disney Plus shows altogether? But thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also check out, I've got a Twitter account that I recently just like set up for this like channel, so please follow me on Twitter. Link will be down in the description below. But again, thank you so much for watching. This is YK Reviews. Peace.